In this fifth video in our series, we look at the distance from Crater Lake National Park to Wind Cave National Park. First, as always, a little bit of history to get us started. Crater Lake National Park was established on May the 22nd, 1902 by President Theodore Roosevelt. Now, Theodore Roosevelt also established our second park we're going to look at today. Wind Cave National Park was established on January the 9th, 1903. We can recall from our fourth video that Steele Visitor Center is located at these coordinates. Now, the Wind Cave National Park Visitor Center can be found at these coordinates. Once again, each of the coordinates and degrees, minutes, and seconds is corresponded to degree decimal form, rounding to 4 decimal places. Now, this would be a good time to pause the video if you want to and find the distance between the two visitor centers. And after you unpause, we will take a look at the solution. And as always, we start with a rough sketch, emphasizing the word rough here. We have our North Pole there. We have our starting point, which is the Steele Visitor Center in Crater Lake National Park. And we go all the way across the Earth here in an arc along a great circle. And we stop at point B, which of course is the Visitor Center in Wind Cave National Park. Once again, opposite these vertices, A, B, and C, we have little a, little b, and little c. Now, with our latitudes, we want to find the measure of A and B. Remember, we want to take 90 degrees minus the latitudes to give us the corresponding angles for those sides. And then recall that we use our longitudes as well, and we use those to find out the measure of angle C. Now that's a capital C there. Should be a capital C. And let's return to our rough sketch now. So returning to our sketch now, we filled in a few things here. We know what A is, we know what B is, and we know what angle C here is at the North Pole. Once again, we use the spherical law of cosines for sides, and we find the cosine of little c there, which is this right here, this measurement right here. And remember, that's measured in two ways. This would be the first way we're going to look at it. So the cosine of little c is the cosine of A times the cosine of B plus the sine of A times the sine of B times the cosine of capital C there, the angle at the North Pole. And we could see we have this long approximation. Once again, we use the inverse cosine function to find out what lowercase c is. Lowercase c is this value. Again, taking out quite a few decimal places there. And then, as always, the final step in our process here is to apply the arc length formula. And we can see with the arc length formula, we have the length of our arc, which is r, which is the approximate radius of the Earth, or average radius, I should say, of the Earth. Remember, there it's a little bit, has a bigger radius at the equator, a little smaller when we go from the center to the poles. And then we need to convert our central angle to radian measure. And to do that, we take the value we just found, multiply it by pi over 180 degrees. And we find that the distance between the two visitor centers is approximately 938.42 miles. So that is the distance if you had a plane and you were to take off at the one visitor center and land right at the other visitor center, that would be the distance. If you followed a straight line, a straight path along a great circle. All right, hope you enjoyed the video and look forward to seeing you on the next one.